Well, obviously, we're coming off a successful Players Era event. To win 2 games against such high-quality competition speaks to where we wanted to be in November. That was a task. We had a lot of new pieces, a lot of young players, and could we be good in November? And we were good enough to win 2. So now we move into the December part of the schedule, the earliest conference game I think we've ever played here. Now that we've gone to a full round robin, to play a conference game in early December is a challenge. So we have to embrace what we did in Vegas, but get beyond it today in practice and start getting ready for our first true road game against a conference opponent in Fresno. And the work will start today.
Coach, your thoughts on Miles winning the Conference Player of the Week?
Yeah, very much deserved. Miles is having a good start to his season. Obviously, the Gonzaga game when he was coming off the ankle and the cramping issues was hard for him. But then to bounce back and play the way he played in Vegas is a credit to him. To be all-tournament team with such other great talent speaks to his game right now, and he needs to continue to grow every day in practice.
And Farrell winning Freshman of the Week?
Yeah, Farrell had a breakout game against Houston. He was good all week, but we ran set plays to go to him in the post when we were struggling on the perimeter trying to get to the basket. We went inside to Farrell, and he delivered. So Farrell had a great week and a great game against Houston, and we're happy that he was Freshman of the Week.
It's not often you go from one of the slowest paced teams in the country to one of the fastest in 3 days. How do you make that transition with your team?
Just trying to, spread the floor, attack to the basket, take advantage of fast breaks when we hit them. And, we've been running pretty good, mostly on turnovers, but this is really hard competition. And we have to continue to play the level of defense we've been playing, create turnovers, and try to get out on the fast break, and that will pick up our pace of play to a high level.
What are your thoughts on, so you get ranked, and the net comes out and you're 60 in the net. How do you sort all that out?
I'm such a bad math student that I don't know how those numbers work. I think we have the number 1 strength of schedule and went 4-2 and are 60 in the net. So it's early in the year. I don't put a lot of stock in that this early. It'll play out how it's supposed to play out over the course of the season. So we put ourselves where I felt we needed to be to get 2 of the wins against those 4 teams was good enough. Obviously, you always want more. I wanted all 4. But the minimum to build a resume was 2, and we got 2.
How much of an asset is this Players Era event for your program, knowing that you're going to be in it at least for the next couple of years?
Oh, it's a great event for us. I mean, I think anybody that came to it saw that the Aztec fans were the largest and loudest group there. And so as we continue to play in it, I think our fan base will make plans to spend Thanksgiving with us in Vegas, and it'll give us a tremendous advantage.
How much of an advantage was it to come home now that you've done it in between those games?
It was great for us. I mean, you stay in any place for a week. I don't care if it's a vacation and you're on the beach. It's a long time. So to stay there a couple nights, we got in there a night later than anybody, and then we left earlier to come home for Wednesday and Thursday, practice in our own facilities, and went back Friday. I think it was an advantage. So I think TV dictated those 2 days off as much as anything. I think most of them like to play Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. But TV dictated that, and we took advantage of the fact that we were close to home and could get home for a couple of days.
Coach, talk about Farrell and Jared and how they held their own even better than the Houston guys and the big dudes up there, how they played.
Farrell battled them inside. Jared had a different style of attack than they're capable of, where he was making threes. And they weren't easy threes. They were threes you'd probably say, what is he doing? The one bounce three. The catch-shoot 3 stepping in is something any coach would take. But he was making hard shots. And I think Coach Sampson made a point of that after the game, that what are you going to do when the 5-man's taking 1 dribble pull-ups? But to Jared's credit, he was a 40% three-point shooter at Middle Tennessee, and he's, I think, shooting 50% for us right now. So that will draw people's attention, and we're hoping he continues to shoot at a high rate.
One of the big criticisms of Maui, maybe the only criticism, is the 3 games in 3 days is really hard on the athletes and has a residual effect. The organizers from Players Era have made it a point to say, we looked at that and we wanted at least 1 day off. TV dictated 2, but having been in both those situations, how much better for the athletes is it to have that day off?
Oh, it's taxing to play 3 days in a row, and we see that in the conference tournament here. You know, when we have to play that third game, you're just walking through in a ballroom late at night and walking out and playing the next day. So that is a real challenge. And the only other thing that compares to it is the conference tournament. After that, you know, you never do that. NCAA tournament, you always have a day between games. So I like the 3 games in 4 days. You know, I think the 5th day was tough, but like I said, TV dictated it, first year for the event. Maybe they'll be able to get that worked out differently next time. But I thought they did a great job. For a first-time event, I thought everything was just first rate.
Describe Fresno State, obviously new coach, completely new system. Vance is known through basketball for some stuff that he does. But describe it for fans who maybe have never seen a Vance Wahlberg team play.
Vance is a good coach, obviously. We've known that for years. He creates space. He opens up driving lanes, double gaps where there's no help, and he attacks the rim. He attacks it at a high level, and then they shoot the 3. So they're basically a metric team. You know, it's either a layup or a 3, and that's kind of what his team is doing right now. And they're good at it. So we're going to have to do a good job defending dribble drive, especially getting back on the fast break on broken floors, and then contesting 3s. So this will be a challenge for us. It's a conference opener on the road against a team that's had some time off to get ready for us. So I'm interested to see how we respond.
You don't see very many teams in college basketball. You see teams press it at times, but they seem committed to it 40 minutes sometimes.
Yeah, they're picking up right now. They're playing a 3-quarter court 1-2-2, and they're playing a 2-2-1. They're mixing them up a little bit and trying to pick up in the full court. And he's like anybody else. He's trying to decide, is the press slowing the game down? He probably doesn't want to do that. He probably wants to speed it up. So he'll decide during the game if it's slowing it down, he probably won't press as much. If he feels we're making mistakes and we're shooting quick, then he'll press all game. So it's an interesting combination that we'll have to choose from.
Coach, how optimistic are you get a win at Fresno?
I mean, that's why we're going. We're going to win. But like I said, it's our first road game, and it's a conference opponent, so that makes it doubly hard. So we'll do everything in our power to put Houston behind us, which is a coach's job, get them focused on the next task. And I've got a great coaching staff. I think we'll be able to do that. I think we'll be ready to play in Fresno. Now, whether we win or not will be based how we play, but we'll be ready to play.